Hello everyone, my name is Casey and I am an educator at the North Carolina Aquarium at Pine Knoll Shores. Today I would like to read a book I wrote called Salamander Wants to Be a Superhero. I hope it encourages you to be like Sal and to get outside in your own backyard to be a superhero for the animals that live there. Let's get started. Salamander wants to be a superhero. Throughout the coastal plains of North Carolina, there is a very special type of habitat, wetlands. To a visitor, the wetlands might look ordinary, but they can be salty like the sea or have fresh water like a mountain stream. The wetland habitat of North Carolina is home to many different kinds of animals, but one of the most unusual is Sal the salamander. This is Sal. Sal lives in a longleaf pine forest in a freshwater pond, along with his brothers and sisters, who have also just hatched from their eggs. But Sal does not look like other salamanders that visit his home. Sal is only 8 millimeters long. Sal wants to be a superhero, but he's not big enough. He will have to grow. Even though he is small, he is a fierce hunter. He will eat tiny water fleas known as Daphnia. The more he eats, the more he will grow. In just 2 weeks, he's already gotten bigger, 25 millimeters. Something else has changed too. Sal has gotten little bumps on the sides of his body. One day, as Sal was slurping up a Daphnia, a shadow crossed the sun. Curious, Sal used his tail to swim up to the surface. A forked tongue flickered in his direction. "Hello," Sal says to the newcomer. "My name is Sal. I'm a salamander. What are you?" The creature tilted her head, confused. "I am a snake. You don't look like any salamander I have ever seen." Sal poked his head above the pond, careful to keep his gills under the water so he could breathe. Getting a better look at this new creature, Sal notices its skin was scaly and smooth, nothing like his wet, slimy skin. Her tongue flicked again in Sal's direction. "What does your tongue split into at the end?" Sal asked. The snake used her belly muscles to coil into a more comfortable position. "All snakes have this special tongue," she said. "My tongue helps me find my dinner. I eat mice. I can flick my tongue to find the direction that a mouse may go. It separates at the end, so I can tell if the mouse traveled to the right or left." "Wow!" Sal exclaimed. The snake smiled. "Oh, but that's not all." "There's more?" asked Sal. Uncoiling herself, she moved closer to Sal. "I also help to control the rodent population. I am very important." Becoming a bit nervous, Sal backed up, ready to dart to the safety of the pond bottom. "Are mice all you eat?" he asked. "No," she said, coming closer. "I eat salamanders too, but you don't look like a salamander to me." "What do I look like?" Sal wanted to know. She lifted her snout since she had no shoulders to shrug. "You don't look like anything too important to me." And with serpentine grace, she slithered away. Sal sunk to the bottom of the pond. The snake was beautiful and had an important job protecting the pine forest. She was a superhero. Sal wanted to be a superhero too. But what had she said about Sal? That he didn't look important at all. Sal sulked at the bottom of the pond for 5 days until miraculously the little bumps that had begun to grow on his body turned into limbs with individual toes. He was amazed. Now that he was 55 millimeters long and had limbs, maybe he could be a superhero like the snake. He also no longer needed to eat tiny bugs. He could eat worms now. He had gills, too. They had grown. They were larger and had frills that helped him to pull oxygen out of the water so that he could breathe. One evening, as the sun was beginning to set, another shadow crossed the pond. "Maybe the snake has come back," Sal thought. "I can't wait to show her how much bigger I've gotten since her last visit." With a whip of his tail, Sal darted to the surface, but the snake was nowhere to be found. Instinctively, Sal looked up and saw a fantastic creature. In fact, the creature he saw wouldn't stay still. It was flying. Wow, this has to be a superhero, Sal thought, and then called out, "Who are you?" The creature swooped down beside the pond. "Hello, little fellow. I am an owl," the creature said. Sal paddled his strong arms and legs to stay afloat as he moved closer to the shore. "I'm Sal the Salamander," he replied. The owl hopped closer to investigate Sal, noticing his big paddle-like tail and his odd frilly gills. "You don't look like a salamander that I've seen. In fact, you look like a water monster." Sal did not know what a monster was, but it didn't sound good. "What are you?" Sal asked, looking at the owl's fluffy feathers. "You look different from the snake I met." "I am a bird of prey. Like snakes, we eat mice as well as other small rodents. We are very important to the forest." Hopping closer to the pond's edge, the owl tilted his head. "We eat salamanders and amphibians too. I catch them running across the forest floor after a nice rain. But you don't look like any salamander I have ever seen. In fact, you look like a water monster." Sal sunk a little lower in the water. "You already said that." The owl sat back, eyes widening. "Oh, you'll have to excuse me. Owls like myself have huge eyes that take up a lot of room in our heads. That doesn't leave much room for a big brain." Sal thought the owl was amazing, even if it wasn't the smartest creature. Before Sal could ask another question, the owl took off, as if he forgot that they were talking. Still, the owl had wings and could fly anywhere. He had to be a superhero. Sal wanted to be a superhero too, but what had the owl said about Sal? He looked like a water monster, and water monsters were not superheroes. Suddenly, there was a nibble at his tail. Ouch! Sal dove under the water, wiggling this way and that until he shook the predator off his tail. When he looked back, he saw a similar-looking salamander trying to eat him. Luckily, Sal was faster and got away before becoming dinner. He wasn't a superhero and he was almost eaten. Could things get any worse? Over the next few weeks, Sal continued to change. His skin was getting dark, with yellow stripes appearing. His strong tail that helped him to swim fast was starting to get smaller and smaller, even though Sal was getting bigger. Even more frustrating, his gills that were so huge and frilly were beginning to shrink as well. That was bad news, Sal thought, for the sun was beating down on his pond and it was slowly drying up. Sal was nervous and he began to burp bubbles. What would happen when the water dried up? The next day, a light mist began to fall. Sal knew this because the tiny droplets were hitting his head. His pond was almost completely gone. Sal tried to swim, but there was barely any water below him, just the wet, muddy bottom of the pond. Sal buried down into the cool mud. It felt good on his plump skin. What had Owl said? That he had seen salamanders running across the forest floor? Maybe they were salamanders whose ponds had dried up too. If he held his breath and ran fast enough, maybe he could make it to another pond. He took a gulp and then made a run for it. He had never used legs to run, and he was surprised at how fast he was. He ran and ran and ran until he was almost out of air. Oh no, Sal thought. I cannot hold my breath any longer. Smack! He ran into something hard that felt like a rock, and it knocked the breath out of him. It was then that Sal realized he could breathe air. Are you okay, honey? The rock asked him. Still amazed that he was breathing actual air, Sal could only manage to walk around to the front of the rock. The rock had a head that was now poking out and spoke. You ran into my shell pretty hard. Looks like you got the wind knocked right out of you. Sal moved closer, and the head retreated into the shell and closed up. Wait, Sal said. It's okay, little rock. I'm okay. I'm breathing. Sal was still getting used to breathing as the head emerged again. How are you doing that? Sal asked. I'm a box turtle, she explained. I can close my head, legs, and tail inside my shell if I feel like I am in danger. That's amazing, Sal said. It's great. I have my home with me wherever I go. The turtle looked back at the pond. I went to this pond for a drink, but I see it's gone. It's a good thing you changed into an adult salamander when you did. Sal blinked. How did you know that I'm a salamander? It was Turtle's turn to blink now. Because you look like a salamander, she said, matter of fact. Sal sighed. But just a salamander. I don't have a tongue that finds mice, or wings that fly, or carry my house around with me. I don't think there's anything very special about me. I don't think I'll ever be a superhero. Turtle smiled at Sal, then began walking. Well, I can't help you be a superhero, but if you need water, there's a slow-moving stream straight ahead. I'm pretty slow, but then again, you are very plump. Maybe we can travel together. Sal frowned. Being called plump felt as good as when Al had called him a water monster, but it was nice to have company again. As they walked, Sal and Turtle chatted. You need to be very careful, Turtle began to explain. There are many things in this forest that can eat little salamanders like you. Sal slugged along. I don't want to be scared of the forest. I want to help it. I want to be a superhero. Turtle grinned. Whatever you say, honey. After what seemed like hours of traveling, a glistening stream surrounded by pine trees came into view. Sal was in awe by its slow-moving water. It was very different from his pond. He wondered if he would still be able to breathe underwater. Better keep close to the stream, Turtle warned. Your skin isn't tough like mine. Sal waded into the stream. He tried swimming underwater, but it was harder to swim without his big tail. What's more, he could not hold his breath under the water anymore. He couldn't breathe. The water was dark, much darker than his pond. He couldn't see. Even with his head above water, he felt very stuffy and uncomfortable. He pulled himself back onto the muddy bank. What was happening to him? Are you okay? Turtle asked. But Sal wasn't okay. He had gone through so many changes in the past few weeks, and none of those changes seemed to be helping him now. The mud felt good to Sal. He decided he was going to dig a burrow and stay underground for the rest of his life. Suddenly, a large shadow loomed from above. Whatever it was huge. Look out! Turtle yelled as she tucked herself completely inside her shell. But Sal had no shell to protect him. He had no wings to fly away. He had no tongue that could smell the danger and slither away in time. A large animal with black beady eyes and a ringed tail picked Sal up by the foot and chomped down hard. It was a raccoon. Sal cried out and wiggled, then he turned and bit down on the animal's tiny fingers. It let go and Sal crashed to the ground. When Sal looked, he was missing a leg. Terrified, Sal decided he could still escape. He turned to run, but around him, the ground began to vibrate and shake. The raccoon's whiskers twitched twice, testing the air. Then, in a scurry, it climbed up a tree. Before Sal could understand what was happening, the earth underneath him lifted. Up, up, up Sal went, until he was face to face with the largest creature he had ever seen. Around the creature stood other smaller, though terrifically huge beasts as well. Oh no, Sal wondered. What's going to happen now? The creature held Sal and his little mud pile in its hands and lowered him for the other beasts to see. And then with a boom, the largest beast began to speak. Looks like we got here just in time. That raccoon was going to have a little salamander snack. She inspected Sal closer. Ah, but look here, kids. The raccoon made off with his leg. The smaller beasts that the large creature had called kids put their hands to their mouths. Others gasped. The larger creature chuckled, then explained, Don't worry, salamanders are amazing. Wait, what did she say? Sal thought. What could possibly be amazing about me? Kids, this is a tiger salamander. See how his yellow stripes resemble a tiger? Well, this guy or girl has the ability to grow body parts back if they lose them. That's called regeneration. So our new friend will have a new leg in a couple of months.
Wow, that's so cool.
All the kids were crowding around to get a look at Sal. Sal didn't feel so scared anymore. He's very special because he is the largest land salamander that we have here in North Carolina. Sal could not believe it. Special? Did she say I was special? Can I hold him? One of the kids asked. The creature shook her head no. That's the other amazing thing about salamanders. They breathe through their skin. It helps that this one is so plump. These folds in the salamander's skin allow him to take in more oxygen. Since they breathe through their skin, any germs we have on our hands could be given to the salamander. That's why I scooped him up with the mud under him. I don't want to touch his skin and get him sick. But look at this. Sal and the kids turned towards the stream. See how filthy and polluted this water is? The kids looked towards the stream. It was dark, and plastic bags and a bottle floated by their feet. This water is too dirty to make a good home for the animals that use it to drink water and find food. Remember, salamanders breathe through their skin. They can't tolerate dirty water. We call them indicator species. They are the first ones to let us know about the health of this place. They truly are superheroes of the forest. Sal could not believe his inner ears. Had the biologist called Sal a superhero of the forest? The biologist looked around. Okay, kids, let's clean up the stream and find a better habitat for the salamander to live in. The children quickly got to work removing all the trash from the surrounding habitat. The biologist took Sal deeper into the forest. Sal looked back to say farewell to Turtle, although he knew he would see her again. Here we are, the biologist said, setting Sal down at a large pond. This is a good place. You will have plenty of food, and this pond is large. It won't dry up. Looks like you're all set. Sal looked back at his leg. Don't worry about that, little salamander. It'll grow back soon. Go on your way. Sal began to dig his hole in the soft mud. The water here was much cleaner and clearer. Outside, the sun beat down on the kids as they ran here and there, collecting all the trash that they could. But Sal did not know this. Snake and Owl had retreated into their homes to wait for the sun to go down before they began to look for those tasty mice. But Sal did not know this. Turtle, still safely tucked in her shell, was now in the hands of the biologist as she began to teach the kids about box turtles. But Sal did not know this. What Sal did know, as he curled into a little ball wrapping his tail around him like a hug, was that he was a real-life superhero.